Hello there, fellow open world gamers. We're going to dive straight into the video in just a moment, but first I wanted to tell you about the Librarians. So the Librarians is about 4 ordinary people from around the world that have been selected to work for the Metropolitan Public Library. It's an ancient order dedicated to solving supernatural mysteries. It also stars Rebecca Romaine and Noah Wiley. And get this, it's produced by Dean Devlin, the guy that brought us Independence Day and The Patriot. If you love National Treasure, Buffy, Leverage, and Warehouse 13, this is the show for you. So subscribe to TNT's YouTube channel by clicking right here, and then don't forget to check the link in the description below to check out sneak peeks and behind the scenes looks. And don't forget to tune in to TNT on Sundays at 8, 7 Central to watch The Librarians. Why, hello there, fellow agents. We are talking about Tom Clancy's The Division today. We've got quite a bit of news for you. But I wanted to wish everyone a happy new year. You're probably watching this video in the new year. That means it is 2015, meaning we will be getting a ton more news about The Division. So stay tuned right here to Open World Games on YouTube because we are covering it extensively. In fact, if you missed our previous coverage, there is a ton of videos backlogged on this channel. You guys can check it out by checking out the links in the description below. But today we're going over some brand new artwork which possibly reveals some new NPC characters we will be running into, and then also some new weapons as well. And there was a recent Q&A done with Ubisoft Massive's very own Martin Haltberg. We're going to go into more details about that later. And then also, what will the in-game look like for The Division? Will it just be about the weapons and gear? Well, we're going to expand upon that. Let's hope they do a little bit more creative stuff with the in-game content. Plus, toys and The Division. Yes, someone actually made a toy based around the agent we see showcased in the trailers, the artwork for The Division. We're going to show that off as well. So here we go, guys. Let's talk about Tom Clancy The Division. So on to the brand new artwork recently revealed by Ubisoft. This was actually a Christmas gift, so thank you Ubisoft for the awesome Christmas gift. And it's a good one too. We're going to take a look at more details about this artwork right now. So here we see the absolute devastation going on in New York City. We see a family in great distress. You see the guy, he doesn't even have proper shoes. The environment is an absolute mess. But these characters could possibly be in the actual game. You may actually run into these very characters and have to help them in some sort of way. Unlike Destiny, there will be NPCs you run into in the world. It's one of the big things about Destiny I found absolutely disappointing was the fact that none of the worlds had NPCs on them. And then we can see what appears to be an older gun, perhaps a Winchester or repeater. So we may actually have access to weapons that are older and not of the modern time period. So that would be a lot of fun to be roaming around and surviving with an older rifle and seeing if you can really pull it off. Also, notice the radio could be likely we could pick up on emergency broadcasts besides the regular form of communications could be down. So we may pick up on some messages, SOS messages. Someone needs help out there in the world, and you're going to find these messages possibly through the radio. I think it would make an awesome feature and it would really tie well into the world. So there you guys have it, the brand new artwork. This game is looking amazing, even from the concepts they give us. So in 2015, we will be getting a ton more details. So that's going to be awesome. Cannot wait. So in case you didn't hear, Ubisoft Massive stated that PvP will be tough to balance in the game. They go on to say in an article from Total Xbox, which I'm going to link in the description below, producer Frederick Runquist touched base on the difficulty of balancing the Division's multiplayer, given that there's going to be a lot of loadouts and levels on offer. And they talked about specifically going from PvE to PvP, and he goes on to say, you know, since we have the seamless transition between PvE and PvP, I think it would break the immersion if all of a sudden your inventory would change and you'd have a gun in your hand and then it just disappears. So yes, there will be a lot of balancing issues, but then on the other hand, if you're playing against other players, they will have the same opportunity as you do to re-spec and meet the challenge that you represent. So basically, you will have a classless character. You're going to be able to do basically anything with your character, and that's the part that's going to be really, really tough to balance. PvE, probably pretty simple to balance, but when you get into PvP, that's really where you're going to have some skill, man. There, you're going to be really showing off your skill with your weapons, the loot you've gained, and then also your leveling once you hit the dark zones. But it also indicates we probably will be seeing a couple of patches after release to mess around with balancing. So I would really expect Ubisoft Massive to really stay in touch with their audience and get feedback, and then adjust the difficulty, adjust leveling, adjust the gear accordingly. So definitely expect some patches post-release.
Yeah, expect those patches. Expect those patches, folks.
That was my manly Division voice. So I haven't gone over this one yet. A recent Q&A was on Reddit about all things The Division, and Martin Hallberg was back answering our questions. So let's take a look. So he was asked, how does the loot system work? And a lot of us assume that's just going to be from killing other players and other enemies, but that is just not the case. He goes on to say, like many other games, there will be a mix of different ways to attain loot, where you can expect drops from different enemies. Of course, that's going to be expected. Or where you can find loot hidden within the world. And they are testing this extensively in The Division. So you're going to expect to find loot on other players, on NPCs, and then also go to certain areas within the world. Maybe hidden areas. I hope they really hide the loot well, and then you will find that rare piece of gear in that way too. So another big question is, what are the penalties for dying in the game? Well, there is a difference from PvE to PvP as explained in the Reddit Q&A. He goes on to say, we have different penalties depending on if you die in the PvE or the PvP zone. Our goal is that you are more afraid to die in a PvP zone than a PvE zone. Since dying is a failure, it should hurt a little when you die. Indeed. Think Dark Souls. I really do like that you get penalized for Dark Souls. This is definitely not going to be as hardcore as DayZ or Dark Souls, so that is good news for anyone that just wants to have fun and hang out with their friends. Much like Destiny, The Division will definitely be like that. So another really good question is, how is the layout of the missions in the game? Are we going to expect to be doing tons of King of the Hill style defend missions, fetch quests? What could we expect? Well, they said that yes, you will be seeing familiar mission structures in the game, but also these mission types are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be varied, and I really hope that they do offer something completely different. I'm looking once again at Destiny with some extremely disappointing missions. It was very, very repetitive. This game is the definition of a repetitive game in terms of the co-op play. The PvP, in my opinion, is great, so I really do hope we see missions like the Paris stories in Assassin's Creed Unity, where you have an actual story you can experience with friends, and the stories tie well with one another as well. That would be awesome. So they were also asked about the end game, and this is where you have defeated the game. What in the world do you do? Well, they did mention they're going to offer extensive content throughout the life of The Division, which they hope to build this as a huge franchise for the next decade. So for this game, they want to introduce new weapons, new gear, post-release, and then also through DLC. I would assume that we will see some sort of DLC, but the biggest thing is we need something better than loot and gear and stuff like that. I would really like to see extensive weather changes, because they really are advertising an extensive weather system with this game. So it would be cool if you go to your friends. Remember that time when the weather was crazy. The whole weekend it was snowing. We had to survive together. There were hardly any resources, and we had to go up north and travel with other players. Now that's a type of experience that would be extremely unique for the Division and work really, really well in this game. But they could also introduce new factions. Suddenly a new faction could appear, or different strands of the disease that we are fighting in this game. So there's a lot of opportunity to make this game more than just about the weapons and loot and gear, which is a huge part of it. That's going to be a ton of fun. But man, it would be cool to see these special events happening every weekend, and then a huge event happening every month. So I really hope that more games tune into that, and I hope one of them is the Division. So what about this epic Division toy? I know you all want to see it. Man, this thing is so awesome. In their community spotlight, Ubisoft recently interviewed FIGURINE, who showed off his creation. I really want to see this thing at Walmart. I want to stumble upon it and go, oh man, it's the agent from the Division, and buy it. So I really hope that they tap into this. I want to put him on my desk and stare at him daily until this game comes out. But this is really cool. It shows just how excited everyone is about the Division. So there you guys have it, the latest news and happenings about all things Tom Clancy The Division. We are going to continue our extensive coverage now in 2015. So expect brand new trailers and all new information right here on Open World Games on YouTube. Subscribe to us to stay up to date on all things Tom Clancy The Division. We've got a huge backlog of all things The Division, so check that out if you guys are new. And also, we are here on YouTube. Of course, we're at Facebook, Twitter, and now twitch.tv/openworldgamer. We are going to be live streaming this game when it releases. You better believe it. We're going to be celebrating with you guys. Definitely, so look forward to it. So thank you guys once again for joining me, and we just hit 150,000 subscribers, so seriously, I am blown away by that. Man, you guys show your support, you guys send me messages on Twitter, Facebook, and I'm very thankful. So cannot wait to journey into the apocalyptic New York City with you guys. Looking forward to it. See you guys later.
Empty. I heard that gunfire. Nick, check your map, see if there's anything in the area. That police station's going critical. Let's head up that way.